welcome back to Better Living. I am joined now by Tracy from Green Acres Greenhouse and Nursery, and also by Tracy's beautiful flowers, because they are absolutely gorgeous.
Well, you can certainly thank my wife for doing that. She's the one that puts the colors together, and we just try to keep them green for her. So
she does a very good job, I'm just going to say. Let's talk a bit, because you mentioned she puts them together. These hanging baskets especially, we'll get a shot of those, and those are absolutely gorgeous. So you guys make, and I use the term make, you grow. There's a better term.
There
you
you
grow
go.
it there. You're not shipping stuff in, are you?
That's right. We're not shipping anything in. We grow everything that we have there. My wife puts these combination planters together, and there's about 250 different combinations to them. We also specialize in succulents, perennials. I think there's around 6,000 perennials out there, and a very good selection of shrubs and trees too.
Let's talk about why it's so important to get something that's been grown here instead of something that's been shipped in.
Well, since we grow it at the farm there, we can honestly give you advice on what you need to do to take care of it. If I bring it in, how would I know what to tell you how to take care of it?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, I can tell you the rate of growth it is. We're bringing in plants in that are new this year, that are just getting started. We've got ones that are 2 years old, so we can say, hey, this is what you're going to look like in a year. This is what you're going to look like in 2 years, and actually see the plant.
Now, for somebody who's challenged like I am, and I get really confused about where I should put something, or perhaps what would look good, what kind of shrub or bush would look good in a corner of my yard. Can I bring in a picture and y'all can kind of help me with that? You
can bring us a picture in, but one of the few of the information, or some of the information that we need to know is the maximum height you want.
Okay.
This gal wants hers beside the window and be taller. The other gal wants hers below the window and be shorter. We also need to know the exposure, whether you're morning sun or afternoon sun or all day sun. Then we can give you a tour of the nursery, and we can tell you what will fit your bill. We can tell you when they're going to flower, whether they're going to be spring, May, summer, or fall, and when you need to prune them also.
I love that. I need the help. Can you also help me with fertilizing and water? You can kind of tell me what I need to do there.
We're really good at troubleshooting problems there at the farm. It's a matter of matching your fertilizer up with your water. And the old saying of watering your hanging baskets until the water falls out the bottom of them is kind of fictitious. Usually if we do that, we're going to have problems with root rot and so forth like that until we get into the main summer when our plants are huge and they're big animals. Then we may have to step to that stage.
Well, and part of that probably too, if they're out where they're getting rain, because there are a lot of times in July where we kind of go into a drought type situation around here.
That's for sure. Most of your plants, the best way to tell is kind of monitor them, pick them up from the bottom. You can kind of tell if they're light from today, they need a little more water than they did yesterday. If they're heavy, then let's back off. And you can easily do that by just counting in your head when you're spraying the hose. That's a good idea. I may have to use my fingers though too.
Do I need to water every day?
Depends on the plants that you have. If you're doing succulents like this, they recommend that you thoroughly moisten them up, thoroughly get them wet, and then thoroughly dry them out. And if you got a doubt on them being dry, then wait another day.
Got it. Now let's talk about succulents like this. Is this the kind of thing that I can put out on my porch perhaps during the summer, but then can bring it in during the winter?
They do great under low-level daylight, and they also do great under full sun. This is something you can take in your house. You can propagate these yourselves. They can be a lot of fun for the homeowner, anybody in the apartment as far as that goes too. And if you stop out to the farm, without going into too lengthy detail here, we can actually show you how you can have some super-duper fun with these things by making your own.
Well, I know the only one I've ever, would aloe be considered an aloe plant? Would it be considered a succulent?
Aloe's not just an aloe vera plant. There's several different aloes too.
I've only seen one, and that's the only thing I ever grew inside that didn't die.
Oh, yeah. Well, I bet you'll stand a real good chance with these, I'm sure.
I have some issues, just for the record. What about that? Just made me think the other thing I've only tried to grow inside was a basil plant.
That might be a little tough. I'm not sure how that basil plant would operate under low-level light. See, when we lose our daylight, daylight hours in the winter. Well, these won't even produce a flower. They'll have a green plant, but there won't be any flowers. When we get our long daylight hours, that's what induces the flowers.
So it's not my fault that I couldn't keep it alive inside.
Probably not at all.
But that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let's talk about, you guys have been in business for a long time. I think that's important when you're buying plants. You sometimes see people in a parking lot, and I don't know whether they're, you know, I can trust them. You guys have been around for 20 years?
Yep, we've been around 20 years. We've got our locals there. They come in, they see us plant some of these plants. We're open from April 15th to October, the end of October. We have an array of things that going on there. You can see them when they're started, and you can see them when they're finished. And you can really get a good idea of what we've got out there if you go to our Facebook page.
I love it. So if we go to Facebook, just search Green Acres Greenhouse and Nursery?
You'll probably see a lot of big plants on there.
I am going to have to go check that out. Now, let's talk about hours. If we want to come out and see you, what time can we come?
We're going to be open with May coming up here. We're going to extend our hours from 9 in the morning to 7, and then on Sundays noon to 5. And we'll carry those hours on until June. And then after that, we will be 9 to 5 then.
All right. And let's talk about where you're located. You're in Archbold, Ohio.
We're easily located 2 miles north of Archbold. And to make it really easy for people, we're 1 mile north of Sauter Village.
Everybody knows where Sauter Village is.
Yep, great place to eat, too.
Yes. Well, here's my last question. Is it safe to put things out now?
You can put them out. What's nice about the containers, you can pick them up and put them in your garage, and they're just not going to frost in your garage. But we're getting really close. You still want to shoot for about that May 10th. I don't believe I'd put anything out until about after that time.
What, 13 days, 14 days, which means you should get out there and buy like right away so that you're prepared then to put them out.
And
it's
we
a process
will be very
at my
busy.
House. Fantastic. Well, get to Green Acres Greenhouse and Nursery. You can get some of these fantastic hanging baskets or other plants or some succulents, and maybe you can keep them alive inside and teach me how. We'll be right back.